mi amigos, or mi amigas, because I made this for the girls, gays, and the theys, and whatever man wants to be on my channel. No hate, I accept all love and engagement and viewership. But anyways, I'm 18 years old. I've never had a boyfriend, a partner. I've never been on a date, and I've only had one talking stage. And you're probably thinking, okay, like, why are you making this video? I'm making this video because I know there are baddies out there who can relate. And I also need to get these thoughts out of my head, because if I don't, then I'm just gonna continue to go on this downhill spiral where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so fundamentally unlovable and just ugly on the inside and out. And like, that's why nobody wants to approach me, and like, I'm stuck up and I'm pretentious and I'm just so like full of myself, and like, this is why people don't want to, like, I need to verbalize this so I don't feel crazy, because I don't want to be that one friend who's like, oh my gosh, guys, like, I've never had a boyfriend. Like, I'm not boy crazy. I will never be boy crazy. I have a boy crazy friend, and she p-words me off. She pisses me off. So I refuse to be that friend. But at the same time, I still want to be able to talk about how I feel unattractive and undesirable, and never having been really approached by a man. Or yeah, we're talking about men today. We're just going to talk about men today for reasons. It makes me feel like something's wrong with me. Like, I'm already in my own head and feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with me that I know, but like, can't put my finger on, but like, other people can see. So it's like, why they don't run in my direction, you know? So stick with me, guys. This is not gonna be all depressing and insecure sounding and whatnot. So you just have to trust the process. I'm gonna keep this video short, keep this video sweet, and just ramble off the top of my head, okay? So I'm 18 years old, and when you think about the number 18, the average person is expected to live to what, 80, 85 years old? That's the average for the people in my family. Well, a good amount of them. The ones that didn't die of like really tragic, not even really tragic, but just like chronic illnesses and cancer and chronic illness related things, you know? But for the most part, they live pretty long, like a good 90 up to 100 years, okay? So I'm hoping I get to live that long. And when you put the number 18 beside the number 80, 85, 90, 100, it's like, girl, you've barely lived life. You have literally barely lived life. That's a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. Live, laugh, love. I feel like I probably have that somewhere over there. Nope. I'm surprised, honestly. But 18 in comparison to 80, it's like, baby girl, you've barely lived your life. Yeah, I know that, but like, you have to hear me out, right? These are my teen years, and freaking High School Musical, Disney Channel, books, every darn damn thing was like, oh yeah, you're gonna find your high school love, you're gonna find your friend group, you're gonna find your people. Oh, no the frick I didn't. So I'm hoping that that's the case for college, and if not, I think I'm gonna vacate the earth, because actually I'm holding out hope, okay? And I'm not holding out hope for a man, never that. I'm holding out hope for finding my people, for finally feeling like I belong, you know? And I know you're not supposed to be so concerned about like what other people think of you and getting external validation, but we're social creatures. I need to socialize with people that I actually like, not just people I happen to share classes with and can carry a few conversations with, because some of my classmates are getting on my nerves, especially the palm colored ones who are starting to be a little too casual with their like ignorance, bigotry, and like borderline racism. So let's talk about that. But I'm also going to PWI, so like that's probably not gonna get any better, but at least I can go to the Black Student Union. Anyways, y'all did not come here hear me talk about my PWI. Anyways, back to what I was saying. But like, just about everyone I know or am in around, they've had some type of like romantic encounter, okay? Like, at least by the age of 16, or they're currently having one, or they have options. They have suitors, or in this day and age, situationships and talking stages. Go check out my recent video on situationships, because I did put in a good amount of time and effort into editing and also researching, and I feel like you people didn't appreciate it enough. But that's okay, because I appreciate it enough, and you gotta trust the process. Anyways, so it feels like I'm the odd one out, you know? Like, my best friend, she has a boyfriend. My really good friend, honestly, Reagan, she's had a boyfriend before. Why am I putting these people's name out here? Anyways, the people that I'm around, they've had at least one boyfriend, or they're getting pursued by people. Like, they're liked by people. Like, they have people being like, hey, like, I think you're fine. I think you're cute. I think you're this, that, and the dirt. Like, you're a baddie. Like, hey, like, let me get on that. Not physically, but like, let me talk to you. Me, dry as a Sahara Desert. I'm talking about my DMs and text messages and notifications. Do I love the peace? Heck yeah. But sometimes I'm like, I did all this work. I put in all the effort to lose weight and like clear my skin up and do what I thought was necessary to become at least somewhat conventionally attractive, or like just more attractive than I was in middle school. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the hoes then. Baby, I'm not getting the hoes. So obviously it's maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes I start to feel like I'm too masculine, and I just don't feel very feminine. And that's also because like my physical attributes. Like, I'm 5'8". Is that tall? That's tall. That's taller than the average woman. But for a man, that's not really tall. But also, most of the boys, because they're boys at my school, are like my height, maybe a little shorter. You know, love a short king, I guess. You know, love them down, I guess. But I'm like, is it because I'm too tall? Like, is it because I'm too like big? And when I say big, I mean like, I'm not a skinny twig, you know? I got a little meat in my bones, and I have broad shoulders, and I feel like that also makes me feel like very masculine. So it's like, if I'm in a group of boys that are barely above my height and are all skinnier than me, we probably weigh the same, but like their weight is like muscle and like bone and stuff. Am I too big for them? You know, like, am I too big for them? Am I maybe not as attractive as I thought I was? Am I maybe just not like conventionally attractive? And I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I know that, but like, there are just certain people who attract people regardless, if that makes sense. Like, they have options. And do I view them as conventionally attractive? Yeah, but I don't know. So let me just give you a background of my experience with boys, okay? So elementary school, I was the chubby kid, right? Like, I was, well, actually, when I look back on it, I really wasn't that big, but I was made to feel like I was big because I was always taller and thicker than like most of the people in my grade, and that included the boys. And I did have acne, and my hygiene wasn't the best, okay? Let's not get into that, because there were, and you know, at home factors. There was just a lot going on in my elementary school career, and I would get picked on a lot, right? That's nothing in comparison to middle school. Middle school was rough. Middle school was rough for a number of reasons, because middle schoolers and teenagers are already like buttholes, and they're mean, and they're judgmental, and they're hormonal, and yeah. And then pair that with the fact that 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade year, I was in freaking quarantine, like at home because of COVID, and because I was living with my great grandmother during my 8th grade year, and I didn't want to give her freaking COVID and cause her to die. So I was like, while everybody else is going back to school, I'm just gonna stay here with my great grandma and help her and help take care of her dog, So I feel like around the time that most girls my age were first having their quote unquote romantic encounters, or like being seen by men, not even men, they were boys. Let's call them what they are, boys. And I'm not boy crazy, but in a society where we're conditioned from a very young age that, boys and men, that's the end all be all. You want to attract a good husband. You want to make sure you look nice for men. You want to make sure you're not too provocative, so a man doesn't have a reason to take advantage of you. Like, society literally freaking programs young girls from childhood to be wives, to be mothers. Men don't do that. Like, little boys growing up aren't conditioned to be husbands and fathers. They're really not when you think about it, because I've grown up around men, and the emphasis on being a partner and reproducer is not really on them, It's not really on them. They just get to have fun, and like, oh, yeah, you're expected to settle down, but like, have fun before you do it. Like, I don't know. So I'm not saying like society is the reason I care so much about boys and the male gaze. I really don't, but I do, because I feel like inherently we're all taught that that's something we should be striving to like be seen by, if that makes sense. Like, oh my gosh, if you're deemed attracted by men, then you're doing something right with your life, or that's something to go after. Like, that's something that's a prize or whatever. And I don't think it is. I think for me, it's just the principle of being seen attractive enough and like beautiful enough and just interesting enough to be approached by somebody romantically, and that the gender just so happens to be of a man. So I don't know, this might make sense to some people, but I honestly am just rambling. But I trust this will find the people that it's meant to find, it'll find the people. But anyways, I feel like around the time when most people were first having their encounters with boys and like talking, like the little middle school talking stages and middle school relationships, baby, I was quarantined. And I was also severely overweight to the point that I had the black spot on my neck that meant I was pushing pre-diabetic. And again, my hygiene was not tea. It was not tea. My style was not there, but it's like I was a middle schooler. So like, do you really expect it to be that way? No. We have to go through that awkward middle school phase, which is fine because you come out of it for the better or the worse if you come out at all. If we're being honest. Excuse me. America, am I right? Anyways, and it really didn't hit me like this whole I'm not being pursued by men didn't really hit me until I started becoming like really self-conscious and like started comparing myself a lot. Like, my issue is comparison. Like, that's genuinely the thief of my joy in life. Like, I would be so much happier if I could just escape my brain's pattern, like my brain's incessant need to compare my achievements or lack thereof to other people's. Like, I genuinely think I would be better off for TBH. But fast forward, I finally get into the school system, right? I go to this literally predominantly white school to the point where I was like one of 10 in out of like 1,200 students. 1,200 students. 1 of 10 out of 1,200 students. So I was kind of doomed from the start. But something in my mind is like, even if you are one of this many of your kind, and by your kind I mean like black people in your school, you should still be like attractive, like objectively attractive enough to be pursued by either somebody that looks like you or somebody who doesn't look like you, you know? In my mind, it's like, oh, if I was attractive enough, if I was magnetic enough, if I was charismatic enough, if my personality, if my body was this, that, and the third, then it wouldn't matter if I was one of 10. I would still get pursued. But no, I didn't get pursued. And I know a lot of people are like, that's a good thing you don't get pursued and like you don't have your time wasted. Okay, I would rather have my time wasted and it proved that I'm actually attractive and am not ugly. I don't know. That's such a bad way to put it, but it's like I feel ugly and like feel like my body is just not up to standard and like everything about me is just not attractive because I'm not attracting people, you know? And I know you shouldn't let the opinions of others affect the way you feel about yourself, but I just think about the people around me. Like my brother is constantly pulling, like my brother is constantly having girls come up to him and like ask for his snap or give them his snap. My stepmom had dates and a boyfriend in high school. My dad, don't even get me started. He had grown women going up to him while he was eating dinner with his mother. Rape was a little question mark, but also like why am I I went out? Because it just, me not getting approached just further solidifies this inherent belief that like I'm different, but not in a good way, but like in a off-putting, like you're the ugly duckling, but not because you're ugly, but because you don't have the same social experiences as other people. And it's like, damn, like maybe if I was like everybody else, and maybe if I wasn't so damn radicalized and like actually care about human rights and just don't ignore every darn thing. Maybe if I wasn't so freaking pretentious, then maybe I would feel normal, and maybe I wouldn't feel like I'm asking for too much by choosing to not talk to people who are racist or like don't care about the issues of their own people or are homophobic. Maybe if I didn't care about things like that, then I'd have better luck finding somebody. Maybe if I was a size 6, I'd find somebody. Maybe if this part of my body was smaller and this part was bigger, I'd find somebody, you know? And that's something that goes through my mind all the time. We're going to talk about my dates with men. I've never been on a date with men. I was close to going on one like a couple of weeks ago, but I just wasn't feeling it, and I'm not gonna talk too much about it because not that I think it would get back to him, but like we're just not gonna talk about it. But we're gonna talk about another encounter with this dude that kind of gave me a love letter. And I know some of y'all are gonna be like, Kamora, why are you being so mean? He kind of scares me. Like he gives me school vibes, you know. But maybe I am a a-hole for caring about appearance, but I'm only human. I'm only a mammal, and that is what we do. We natural selection, that's what we're learning about in AP biology right now. Of course I'm gonna want somebody that's like attractive looking because Yes, I love a good personality, but I also gotta like what I'm looking at, because we are visual creatures, so I kind of have to like what I'm looking at. But the people that I like, the few people that I have attracted were kind of on like the weirder side, and I'm like, damn, they say you are what you attract, so maybe I am weird and maybe I am a little chopped, because why am I attracting weirdos in men that are, they're not ugly, but they're just not what I would consider attractive, you know? And don't come at me, do not come at me talking about some, you're too damn picky. Yeah, what's new? That's why I feel like this right now, because I am so damn picky. Maybe if I just had no self-respect, and maybe if I lowered my standards and wasn't so high up in the freaking air, I have a foot shoved so far up my ass, then maybe I would be more likable, approachable. I don't know. I try not to get upset about it, but again, I feel like the odd one out, and I feel like maybe if I were smaller, maybe if I made myself smaller, both physically, vocally, and just mentally, I would attract somebody. But like, I refuse to put myself into a box to make myself seem more attractive to people that whose opinions I really don't care about. And maybe if I didn't put myself on such a pedestal in comparison to other people, then maybe I would have better luck finding my people. So maybe that's just something I need to work on. But if you're watching this and you're 18 or 20 or 30 and you've never had a relationship, know that you're not alone. Know that it is not the end of the world, that there's nothing inherently wrong with you that's causing you to like push people away. And hey, maybe there is, you know, let's call a spade a spade. I know I have a lot of mental things that I need to work through, and I know when I work through them, I'm gonna become a more attractive person, not physically but mentally, and that will reflect mentally. So maybe there is something that you need to work on internally. Maybe you're like attachment style, or like childhood trauma, or just improving your relationship with yourself and your confidence. Not saying that, oh, if you do that, you're going to magically attract a partner. No, but like, you want to be so fulfilled in yourself and so focused on bettering yourself that somebody good just like sneaks into your life. So, yeah. By the end of the day, when people are like, it's okay, love comes when you least expect it, shut the hell up. Or like, you need to just focus on yourself. Or it's okay that I don't know, they just make so many different excuses as to why like you should be okay not having a partner. I don't want a partner, but like sometimes I miss the affection and the touch of other people. Like, yeah, I love my besties, I love my parents, but I need physical intimacy. And by intimacy, I'm not talking about having sex. I mean just like hugs and like just little touches from somebody that you're attracted to. Not even like that, but like freaking holding hands or like hugging and stuff like that. Like, I don't know how to say that without sounding freaky, you know? Like, I'm a human being. I don't be doing that because I'm not trying to get pregnant, respectfully, in this economy. And also because I'm not trying to do that. I have black parents, and where am I going to do that at? Not in this house. But sometimes you just can't beat the touch of another person in the most PG way possible. But anyways, I hope you all like this video. I know I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna post this because it's been a long time no see. Thank you if you've watched until the very end, and if you didn't, that's okay, I guess. I don't know if you're a real one, but it's whatever. I still love you regardless, and know that there's nothing inherently wrong with you. You are not ugly. You do not have to change parts of yourself to become more attractive for other people. If you're gonna change for yourself. I'm changing myself because I want to be in a body and in skin and in a mind that I'm comfortable with. I don't want to be in a mind that's constantly berating me and making me feel like I'm the ugliest person in the world, and in a body where I just physically want to crawl out my skin. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what else to tell you because I'm trying to figure it out day by day myself. And if I ever come up with the answers, I'll let y'all know. But until then, stay groovy. I really don't have an outro, but I will see y'all in the next video, and know that you are loved. And yeah, stay swaggy, stay smart, stay a baddie, and stay aware. I don't know. Bye. I love you guys. Catch y'all in the next one.